Hello there. Welcome. It is episode 329 of the Pro Synth Network show. We are live, as we always are, or mostly, and there's only once or twice we haven't been live. But we are live now. We're late. We are 3 minutes late. Sorry, we were just nattering, and then, oh, look, it's the time. So here we are, completely professional as ever. Welcome to the show. If you are new here, we're not always late, so don't mark us down for that. But if you are new here, welcome. Where have you been all this time? Yes, thanks for coming. That's all I can say. And thanks to everyone else. Hi to everyone in the chat. I'm not going to name you all because I'll be here forever, but you know who you are. It's you. You're there. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you to our one Twitch viewer. Hello, Twitch viewer. Make yourself known. I don't know who you are, but we have one a week. We have one person every week watches on Twitch. No idea. Not a clue. But most of you are on YouTube, which I think is probably the better place to be. And so, here we are. We've got an interesting show. We've got a handful of topics to talk about and eulogise over. We'll have hardware demonstrations, live hardware demonstrations. We might even have a live software demonstration. We've got a couple of viewer tracks to play through a little bit later on. One from our friend AD Vision and another one from our dear friend Babs. So we've got two great pieces of music, both completely different kinds of things going on. But yeah, we've got two pieces to play through for you tonight. So stick around for those if you can. We've not got anybody else. It's just me and Andrew tonight. I'll bring Andrew in just a bit. But if anybody is anywhere near Scott in Scotland, or Jason down in near Bristol. No, he's not in Bristol. Is he down that way? Yeah, I think he's that kind of way.
That kind of way, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of ish. Or anybody that's in Ewell, can you give them a poke, because they've not even sent in a sick note. So it's just me and Andy. So we'll do our best to testiculate for 2 hours about the things that we've got, which we'll go through very shortly. But before we do, it's the time of the show where we do all the housekeeping rubbish and we get it out of the way before we get into the meat and bones of the stuff. So first of all, welcome to the show, and if you haven't already, give us a like, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're that way inclined. I know there are a few people that don't like us and don't like what we do. Bothered, don't care. If you want to thumb us down, that's fine. But if you like us, then give us a thumbs up. That would be great, especially if you do it during the show. Apparently that massages the algorithm in a nice, pleasant way. So do that. And of course, if you want to comment during the show, you can do so in the various chat methods on the three platforms that we broadcast on. So YouTube chat, Facebook, you can comment underneath the video. That all comes through to us as well. And if you are that one person that's on Twitch, you can use the Twitch chat as well. Please do use it to tell us who you are. We don't know. Introduce yourself. Say hi. Don't be shy. We don't bite. Certainly not on the first date anyway. So you can do that. You can comment, and if you want to ask us a question, you can stick a big capital Q in front of it to make us aware of it, and stick a question mark at the end, and that helps it kind of get put into the right bucket that we will then draw from at the appropriate time. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't do anything to you. You might get fed some of our videos in your feed, but what it does is it helps our channel grow, and it helps kind of spread the word, and kind of tells YouTube that people are enjoying it. If you're watching on a mobile device after the event, apparently you can also hit the hype button, and that kind of boosts us as well. So if you're able to hit the hype button, or maybe you're watching us right now, and maybe tomorrow you think, oh, I remember Rob saying hit the hype button. Go onto YouTube on your mobile device, find the video and hit the hype button, and that gives us some sort of points, and points make prizes, and the prize is increased exposure. And increased exposure generally means more people watch the show, and so on and so forth. We just need to work and massage that algorithm, milk the algorithm. I did a gesture there, and thankfully it was out of camera shot. So let's milk that algo. Just give us a subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does make a difference to us. And of course, if you know somebody who would enjoy watching this show and listening to a bunch of old geezers yak on about synthesizers and technology and maybe some other things for 2 hours on a Friday evening, then please do send them the link to the channel or to a video, and Thank you for doing so. Right, so that's all that stuff done. If you want to support the channel, because we are completely supported by you, our viewers, it's all your fault that we're still here after 6 years. So if you want to support us, help pay the bills, essentially, because it is quite expensive to do this thing. We're talking 4-figure sums. So if you want to help us, then you can over at our Patreon page. There's the address, prosynthnetwork.com/Patreon. For those of you that are technologically minded, look, there's a QR code, right?
Yay.
Look at that. So you can scan that. That'll take you to our Patreon page. And what's over there? Well, lots of free stuff, if, of course, you subscribe. I think it's $2 a month. You can start it and stop it as often as you like. So if you want to go in and grab just 1 or 2 things, or even everything, subscribe for a month, you can do it. Come back again, or just let it go and just keep helping support the channel. But there's free patches for hardware synths, software synths. There's free decent sampler instruments. If you're not familiar with the decent sampler application, just Google decent sampler and you'll be amazed at this amazing piece of free software and the amazing free instruments there are for it. And we've had some doozies created for us, mostly by Gare Hughes from Custom Sonics. He's done some amazing things. And they're all available for you to download over at the Patreon page. What else is there? There's exclusive video content, clipped content that has no adverts or anything like that, and it saves you having to navigate and search for stuff. If you just want to watch an episode of the Synthspiration series that we are still doing, but nobody's sending in, by the way, hint, hint. If you want to do that, then of course you can do that over there, and you just subscribe and it helps us. It all goes to pay the bills. You could do the same with YouTube. I should actually do a little thing here, shouldn't I? A little lower third for the YouTube thing. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe as a YouTube channel member. Again, same deal. It's $2 a month. And you get all of that free stuff as well. All you got to do is, once you're subscribed, you'll be able to go and look at the posts, I think, or community tab on the page, and then because you're a subscriber, you will see all the links to the free stuff, and you can just scroll through and find it all there. If you can't find it, let me know. rob@prosynthnetwork.com is the email address, but it should all be there. So you can either do it Patreon or you can do it YouTube. That's super helpful. Another thing that you can do is you can buy merchandise. There's the link and there's the QR code. prosynthnetwork.com/merch, and you can buy t-shirts and hoodies and hats and coasters and handkerchiefs and bikinis and bottles and all sorts of wonderful things, all with the PSN logo emblazoned on them, so that you can tell the world how much you love sitting here on a Friday night for 2 hours listening to us yabber on. And it also gives you that warm fuzzy feeling that you're supporting the channel, and we are super grateful. And it's always so good when we go to all these shows to just see people walking around, even people we don't know, that we're not familiar with, walking around in ProSynth Network gear. It kind of gives you a nice sense of achievement, I think. It's a sense of pride.
Yeah.
It's very nice. So yeah, please go and avail yourself. I'm not wearing one today. I'm wearing my new Scritti Politti shirt that I got from the gig last weekend, and they were very good, by the way. So I'm wearing my new Scritti shirt. But you can get all of that stuff over at the merchandise store. There's the QR code. You can help yourself to all of that stuff, and we're able to take a little bit of money from that service. You can also communicate with us during the week, and not just us, but also fellow ProSynth networkers at the PSN Discord channel, prosynthnetwork.com/Discord. And there's lots of different channels on the server there for talking about stuff, whether it's hardware or software or modular, Eurorack, all sorts of things. You can even submit your own music there for other people to listen to. Actually, I might open up a specific channel for you to submit your stuff to there. Might be an easier way of doing it, but then I don't know. We'll figure something out. But it's just a cool place to go and hang out and chat with people. There's always somebody hanging around. I've always got Discord open because I use it for one of my employments. So I'm always kind of hanging around in there. So yeah, Discord is there, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's free of charge. And you can communicate with lots of people outside of that. And if you just want to do social media, well, then we're across most of those as well. Mostly on Facebook and here as well on YouTube. But all of those services that you see listed, we are available on, and the handle is at ProSynth Network. I've already mentioned that if you want to ask a question, stick a big whopping great capital Q in front of your question so that we can see it. And I think That's about it. We still haven't had any of the rest of the team joining us, so I shall assume that they shan't be. There we go. We'll make do with just me and Trolleywops here. There you go.
Yay.
Yep. We can both do one of those. How are you?
I'm good. As you can see, the studio is gradually getting torn down. So I slept badly, so I've got a bad neck, which I had last week, and it's not got much better, but it's getting a little bit. But yeah, tearing the studio down and having a crack at all of that's kind of fun and terrifying all at the same time. But yeah, lots and lots of that going on this week, and moving
it's quite
things.
Therapeutic, isn't it, when you do that?
Do you know
the
it?
studio
It is, because you can start looking. I've made a huge amount of room in here, so I'm going to be putting up stands and double, triple keyboards and somewhere to put all these wonderful little things like the Mask EX and the ELZ1 Play and whatever else. There's a bunch of other stuff that I've got to stick up. And it will allow me to set it up for doing all the filming and such as well. So reviews and things. There'll be, by the way, there's going to be more coming for the Patreon channel. There's some presets coming soon and some videos. So they'll all be on the Patreon channel. Nice.
You mentioned the Mask. I've got to give a shout out to Stefan, who is the guy behind Kodamo. He is the Damo in Kodamo, and when I bought the Mask 1 EX Mark II, I got one of the very first ones, and he admits he held his hands up and said, "Look, I'm sorry, I've messed up. We printed the MIDI port nomenclature on the top panel the wrong way round, so the out was marked in and the in was marked out. So they put this little label on there, and I kept looking over at it, thinking, all I can see is this little label it's just kind of." So I emailed him and I said, how much for a new panel? Because I know that he's been producing them correctly. And to his credit, he said, I'll send you one. And he did. And it arrived the other day. And it was a simple job of just putting it, unscrewing a few screws, putting them one back on. So massive props to Stefan at Kodamo, who makes brilliant synthesizers. And in our discussion, I'm not going to say the details because I probably shouldn't, but he's working on some cool new things. So look out for some stuff, and we'll obviously be covering it here as well.
And isn't it great that someone like Stefan supports people like yourselves, like this channel, by just you personally, actually, in this case, by giving you something that's there, but also they've done something that no one else has done, a new form of or a new way of synthesis with the Mask that I think we've been very keen on from the beginning, and I'm loving it more and more now. In fact, I'm playing around with it with the Osmos at the moment.
Yes.
That's a lovely thing. So you've got to support these guys, and they're doing great work. They're doing really good work. I forgot to shout out last week. So you remember 2 weeks ago, I think it was, just before the show started, my lovely Rode mic stand. The clamp decided to go, stuff you, I'm off, and departed from its position, rendering the whole thing useless. And I need to give a shout out to Teo in the service department at HHB. HHB are the road distributors here in the UK. And I dropped Teo a line and said, mate, it's gone again, because this is the second clamp that I've had. Actually, no, this is now the third clamp, because there was an original one that went, and then the replacement went, and now I'm on my third one. And I just said, look, I need another one. And he said, well, we only warranty our spares for 3 months, or 90 days, or whatever it is. But he said, because you're just a bit over that, I'll send you one. So he sent me one, and again, free of charge, got me up and running. And it was here the next day. So a massive shout out to Teo at the service department at HHB, and all the lovely ladies that I have to kind of go through for invoicing there. They're a wonderful bunch. Proper old school. Proper old school, yeah. Proper customer.
Yeah. So big shout out to those guys there. And as far as the actual design of this clamp is concerned, it has been noted apparently by Rode that is an issue. So maybe at some point they'll address it. But it's now secured in a slightly different location that might put less stress on it. I don't know if the stress was causing it, but anyway, there you go. We shouldn't have any collapsing microphones for a little while, one would hope.
Just the chairs and the stand.
Just the chairs, and us. on air kind of thing. Massive thank you to Andrew again for his usual episode-related cake fund donation. Another massive thank you to, of course, Custom Sonics. That's Gare Hughes, who does a lot of our free content if you get over on Patreon or YouTube membership. And that's for the sunscreen fund for Mr. Spong. Of course, Kent has been out spraying his lovely Mustang, a glorious shade of shiny black. And it was looking good yesterday. I mean, yeah, it was yesterday. He was doing something.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he is. Maybe he's inhaled too many fumes, or he forgot to put his cigarette out before topping up the I mean, there were multiple health and safety things going on there.
Or perhaps he's got sunstroke.
Or
who knows?
Yes.
Hope you're well, mate.
Yes. Yeah. Where are you?
Yeah.
I haven't received your sick note yet, so you're not getting paid. And also, welcome to Mike Martin, the legend that is Mike Martin, who, of course, we know from various Cherry audio projects, and will know soon about other things. But that's all I'm saying. He's just become a channel member, like a whole bunch of other people. So thank you, Mike, and welcome.
Welcome, Mike.
I'm sure, I have a feeling in my water that Mike will be on the show again pretty soon. I have a feeling. Ooh, as they say. Anyway, so we've got a few bits to talk about. There's not a huge amount like there was last week. And we've got a lot to thank our friend. I'm going to say it now in case I forget. There's a bunch of stuff today that we're going to be talking about that I have to thank Tom at Synth Anatomy for, because he's broke a few news stories. So we're going to be covering those. So Tom, if you're watching, I know you do pop in most evenings. Thank you in advance. Thank you in advance for the stories, and also thank you in advance for letting me use one of your images on one of my articles. You see, we all work together, even though we work for different companies. We all work together, and it's all very together. Nice.
Yeah,
indeed. So we've got some hardware news, we've got some software news, some other bits and bobs here and there. We've got some kind of industry news. Did you know, by the way, we spoke last week about Native Instruments laying off around 100 people.
Yeah.
Splice, who recently bought Spitfire Audio, if you remember, they've decided to let about 100 people go as well across the company.
Really?
We don't know where exactly. We don't know whether that's anybody that's been at Spitfire. But yes, they've restructured. Is the technical term for being arseholes and laying people off. Well,
I suppose where there's an overlap in function,
it's always going to happen, isn't it?
It is always going to happen. The good news is the companies are keeping going. That's the good news, and they may or may not build. Hopefully they'll build up and bring other people in to do other things. Indeed. So, at least they're still there doing this stuff and supporting people who already have their software.
And yes, and of course, a lot of people have a lot of Spitfire stuff. I think Kent pretty much keeps that company going. Here we go. We've had a donation from End of Lenin, who has donated. I used to love doing that because I've just recently finished watching Star City, which is this amazing sort of alternate universe sci-fi thing about the Russian space program in the 60s and the 70s. And I was really weirded out because they all speak with English accents. Nobody is doing a Russian accent. So, or I say English accents. Rhys Ifans is one of the lead characters, and he's very Welsh.
He's very Welsh.
He's very Welsh, but he's Russian. Isn't boy? It's a little off-putting, but I guess it would be difficult to find such a stellar cast because it's got Rhys Ifans and it's got the utterly gorgeous and divine Anna Maxwell Martin in it, who makes me go all gooey. She's just one of my little secrets. But she's doing her posh lady's accent, which is also a bit of a turn on. So yeah, it's a little weird. So I'm sat there, sort of like they say something and they say it back in Russian, or try to badly. But they don't mention Lenin often, so I don't often get to say Lenin, unless of course.
Do you know?
Go on. Donates. No, yeah, that's it.
No. I just love it whenever you say, I can't do it.
Apparently.
I can't do it. But I've not checked that out yet, and I really feel I need to. Star City.
It's good. It's a spin-off of the American one called For All. Well, it's made by the same people, but For All Mankind was all about the alternate. The Russians got to the moon first, rather than the Americans, and how that spirals off. And it got to like season 3 or 4, and it just started to go a little bit lame. Star City kind of rewinds the clock to when the Russians landed on the moon and looks at that path. So it's in the same universe, but it's looking at all from the Russian angle, and it's quite dark. But they've just finished the first season on Apple TV. So Apple, if you want to give me some sponsorship for plugging your program, that'd be nice. Great music in there as well. Some really good music.
Of course they would. Of course they will.
Yeah, of course.
Expect millions.
Expect millions, get nothing. Yes. So there's that. Thank you, the End of Lenin, for your very generous, as always, donation. We need. I did say that I was going to design him a T-shirt. We hung out at Synthesized in Cambridge a few weeks ago, and he played my DX7 with a big grin on his face. You see, he fell in love with it.
Can you phonetically spell the way you say it though? Because if you can, I'll have one of those.
What's that?
I'll have one of those. The T-shirt.
Oh, the T-shirt. Yeah, I'll.
The end of
Lenin. Yeah, we'll have to do so. I'll just have to have a picture of Lenin and his hand.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it'll be fun. I think we'll sell bucket loads.
Yeah, I think you will.
And I'll probably have to give the End of Lenin, who does have a name. I'm not sure if he wants to broadcast it or that, but he'll probably want some sort of royalty.
Royalty.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
A gulag somewhere.
A gulag, yes. It's a VIP gulag in Mother Russia. Anyway, let's do some stuff that we're here to do, because that's why people tune in. We've already wasted 25 minutes talking absolute rubbish. So I guess we'll kick off with the big thing, because we've got something here that we can demonstrate as well. But we'll kick off with this, which is the FM1. Now, we talked about this when it first got launched, and it's made by this company called MVAVE. They are a Chinese organisation, and this is not their first product. They've made lots of other things like controllers and foot pedal switches and other bits and bobs.
Mini guitar amps, that kind of stuff.
Just lots of little, very cool, handy little things. And they tend to mostly be sold on the Chinese marketplaces such as AliExpress and Temu. And I was just obviously, because of my passion and love for all things FM, was instantly kind of my interest was piqued. And I thought, well, this looks interesting. And I didn't really think much more of it until, and again, we're mentioning Tom here from Synth Anatomy again. So I'll expect some ad revenue, Tom, at some point. Tom he got one. He actually went out and bought one and did a review. He did a written review, he did a video review and a demo. And I sat there watching, thinking, do you know, this is not bad for the price.
Do you know the funny that picture though, because you shared that, I had a look earlier. That reminded me. I thought that was a Sonicware thing at first, because it's that same kind of format. So. Just having said that, you carry on now, because
well, it does. It has that kind of all black with some white trim kind of look about it, which is of course quite a Sonicware thing. Funny you should say that, because one of our viewers, Steve Sims, who goes under the name of Ixorb in the chat, he didn't know what this was, so he copied the picture I posted on our Facebook group and dropped it into, I believe it was ChatGPT, and said, ChatGPT, what is this? And ChatGPT came back straight away and said, that's a Teenage Engineering OP1.
Yeah, AI's clever.
Yeah. Well, but the thing was, he then responded by saying, are you really, really sure? And of course, the AI came back and said, oh no, my mistake. It's a Teenage Engineering EP133.
What?
Which is
That's just nuts.
Yeah. So anyway, it's not. This is the MVAVE FM1. Now, I wasn't quite expecting what it was, that I had ordered, because I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound. I went on to AliExpress. They do 6 different colours, and I was quite enamoured with the orange one, but nobody had that for sale. And then I just happened to refresh the page one day, and there it was. It was there for sale for around 55 UK pounds. Okay, get that in your head. 55 UK pounds. I thought, well, what's the worst? The worst that could happen is I end up with a cardboard cutout that looks a bit like this rather than the actual thing. for 55 quid. But
or one of those little models that's a keyring thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was like something like that. Well, do you know, to be honest, it's not far off a keyring size. You could actually make a keyring out of this. But it arrived, thankfully, it arrived this morning because I'd done the whole show thing with that on the front cover. Had it not arrived, I would have looked a little bit stupid, or a little more stupid than normal. But it arrived. And as you can see here, it is an FM synthesizer. It mimics the DX7 structure, so it's 32 algorithms, 6 operators. The only thing it doesn't mimic is the polyphony. Instead of 16, it's 12, but I think that's perfectly adequate for a unit like this. So it's 12 voice polyphonic. It comes preloaded with 128 presets, which are clearly derived from just bog standard DX7 presets, which you can find anywhere on the internet. You've got a little color TFT screen. You've also got this silicone keypad, but it also has a filter, so low pass, band pass, high pass filter, a reverb, a number of different reverbs. So I think you have plate, hall, and room. You got delay. There's a couple of different delays. There's a distortion. There's a chorus with a number of settings and a phaser as well. 7-mode arpeggiator, 16-step sequencer. It's got, this is the bit that just like I just went, no. It's got USB-C. That's how it's powered if you're not running it off the internal rechargeable 12-hour duration battery. So you can power it over USB. That USB also does MIDI. It also does audio. It comes up as an audio interface. So if you're using this with a mobile or a laptop, this is an audio interface as well. It's got 3.5mm MIDI in, so there's no MIDI out on this, but you can send MIDI to it through TRS. It's also got Bluetooth MIDI, which when I turned on, instantly paired with my WIDI, just like that, and it was working. It was brilliant. So 55 quid for literally a pocket synthesizer that is massively polyphonic. I say massively, 12. That's pretty good for a unit this size. With all of those features, it's completely programmable. It's not just a preset machine.
And it's got, just the TFT display, just that has got to be, I'm just puzzled by how they've managed to turn this out at that price with those features. It is absolutely
bonkers that something like this is 55 quid and you get all of that. And what I'm going to say now, I don't want this conversation to go down, because we always end up going down this route. And we will talk about this other company. But there is a company that we all know and love to a degree that makes low-cost synthesizers. And they what's the word? They copy. Yeah, they copy. Okay, they copy the design. They copy the names pretty much. Here's a company that's developed an FM synthesizer that is essentially a copy of a DX7, but they've done it completely originally in a unit that's 55 quid. I mean, this is where we should be spending our budget money on stuff like this, in my humble opinion.
I was going to ask, with the DX7, does the engine, is there not some sort of copyright around the engine? And
not anymore. It's all apps.
So that's fallen away, so anyone can use that.
Yeah, and lots of people do, yeah.
And so they've done this as a tiny wee little thing, but with completely their own design, their own interface, their own way of doing things. I mean, you've got to admire them for that, haven't you?
Absolutely.
And it shows it can be done.
Yeah, and it's built really well. And so we've got some questions coming in. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a little look. So here we are. We'll make this full screen. There we go. There is my
orange.
And I got the orange one. I've got the Keith in Watford design. So if you want to see how big it is, right? So my hands. Let me just bring. So this is my hand. That's my. So I've not got big hands, right? Go back here. It literally fits under my hand. It's that small. It's a little bigger, this in these dimensions, than my iPhone 16 Max. It's not, and it's only like 2 centimeters, not even 2 centimeters tall. It is absolutely tiny.
And you say it's well built?
It's very well built. It's solid. Nothing feels, the knobs don't have any give in them. The buttons feel, the clicky buttons feel clicky. The non-clicky buttons just feel nice and soft. because you've got this little keyboard here. And it's and the step knobs, everything feels just as it should do. It doesn't feel cheap in any way or form. On the back here, you've got an audio output, which is either, at the moment I've got this going into my audio interface, but you can have headphones. Then there's a 3.5mm TRS socket there. There's a USB-C, and then there's a power switch, and that's all you've got on the back. And then on the bottom, there's a speaker. So if you want to annoy people, you can use the built-in speaker. But of course, you can just plug your headphones in or plug it into your interface, and there you go. Now, I've loaded the entire DX1 sound bank into all 128 patches that came with the factory DX1 are now in here. So we've got this horn section. Okay. And it sounds pretty dry. But the minute you start putting a little bit of effects on, and this is, of course, we know this with every synth, we put a little bit of reverb on there, and we'll change that reverb to a plate reverb. Sorry, the focus kind of goes in and out when I put my hand on it, as the actress said to the bishop. And then
with the other hand, yes.
Then we'll let's just select. So we'll go over here to the chorus. We'll turn the chorus on. That reverb needs a little bit of adjusting, so we just turn that down. So we go there, reverbs. We've got plate reverbs, and we can mess around with the decay. We'll drop the decay down, maybe. Yeah, that's so. And of course, you'll hear response to velocity, but also to aftertouch as well. So it does all of that as well. So they're not cutting any corners there.
That we were talking about this before the show, and I just assumed it wouldn't have velocity or aftertouch because it's 55 quid, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't think it would have effects. 55 quid, and it's got velocity and aftertouch. I take it responds to that over MIDI as well, yeah?
Yes. Yep.
Well, it must do because you're playing it with the Bluetooth.
Yeah, and all I'm doing, I've just got my Arturia Keylab connected to WIDI, and that's just connected Bluetooth MIDI to this. No delay, no latency. Well, I mean, there is obviously latency, but it's so small that you just don't know. Ken Pierce, hello, welcome. By the way, ASM released version 1.2 Leviathan firmware today, which introduces the sequencer entropy and a whole bunch of other stuff. Go to ASM to find out all about that. How do you know what each knob is doing? Well, these are kind of like soft controls, and so you will eventually kind of. I mean, I very quickly kind of got into knowing that to select, for example, in the effects section, you just use the select thing. You see that little red dot. And then the four knobs here just control various aspects. So this first one is the frequency of the chorus. This one is the depth. That one's the mix. And then the fourth one turns it on or off.
I've seen worse interfaces, Robbie.
It's really very, very simple. Now, the observant amongst you will also notice that unlike a DX7, there's a filter. So if we go over to the filter and we turn the filter on, so we have a low pass, we have a low pass, we have a band pass, and we have a high pass filter. And then I believe it's knob 2 does the cutoff, so we can open it right up.
Nice muty. Hello, the old bill are coming.
So yeah, I mean,
this is £55.
It's got a fucking filter. You've got delays on there, distortion as well. Let's see what the distortion is like. Turn that on. That's on. That's off. And so we have gain control. Now, I haven't worked out. I kind of get the feeling that it steps in a lot of things by 10% jumps. I don't know if I haven't fully gone through the manual, and you do get a manual, physical manual with this. I don't know if you can go like increments of that, or whether it's just jumps of 10.
You mean like with a shift function of some
Yeah,
sort?
like if you press something and that you got 21 or 22%.
Yeah.
And you got tone on there, and it can sound quite nasty. But for 55 quid,
That's
it
nuts.
doesn't have. And of course, you can go through. So you've got a presets control here, so that will start scrolling you through the 128 presets that you can store in this here. And you all knew I was going to go here. And I always use this one as a bit of a test for the responsiveness of the engine to the velocity. So you can hear it's doing a pretty decent job. And of course, as soon as you start putting in a little bit of chorus, sounds a lot better. And then select, we go up to the reverb, and we turn the reverb on, and we'll make that a plate reverb, and we'll just dial it down. There's your Whitney Houston right there. Yeah, and the arpeggiator, let's find a slightly more appropriate sound. So let's have a look. There's usually something up here. By the way, these are, as I said, these are all the DX1 presets.
So I take it. How do you load them on, Robbie? How do you load different sounds on?
I'll come to that. You normally load them on if you don't have any other equipment. You have to sysex them in from a sysex application on your computer. So if you're using Windows MIDI aux, if you're using Mac, you've got the sysex. Is it called Sysex Manager by Snoise? So yeah, you can just sysex them in. It's a little bit cumbersome, but I will come to that because that problem has already been solved. So let's put the arpeggiator on. So we'll just click the arpeggiator, and then we get our arpeggiator page. There are 2 pages here. So we can where's the page is there. So why isn't that arpeggiating? Oh, it is. It's just because it's a. Let me choose a better sound. Tambourine, no. No. Oh, there you go. No. There are some synthy kind of analogy. No.
Does it need to have sync on?
No, because it should be syncing to its own. It should be. Yeah. I don't know why that's not. That's weird. Typical, isn't it? That it happens
as you're demoing.
As I'm demoing. Why are you not? I've clearly done something.
Try pressing ARP again and get back to the top menu. There we go. Random, rate.
That's weird. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll try turning it off and on again.
Off and on again.
What I didn't do, and then there's probably, I'm surprised nobody's picked me up on this. Look.
Oh, you've not taken off the peel off doofer.
There we go. It's done. Right. So let's find. The
doorbell.
Let's try that. Oh, it's doing it from the local keyboard. We go to the filter, turn the filter on. You've also got a 16-step sequencer, which if you select, I think there are 2 patterns. No, actually, no, there's more. Is it 16 patterns you can choose. Of 16 patterns of 16 steps. And then, sorry. Yeah, you've got swing and transpose and sync off there as well. But you can program it in step. So if you go to record... So I've now filled up all of that there, so I can turn record off and press play. And it sounds like it's polyphonic sequencer as well.
It does. It is, yeah.
Half God asks, does it have resonance? Well, it has Q, yes. So it does have, if you go to the effects, go to the filter, and then you've got Q. So...
I think it was more pronounced on the band pass, possibly,
but again, you know,
this is 55
quid.
That's just nuts.
It really is. It's bonkers.
So, you're going away on your holes soon.
This is absolutely going in my bag.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the size of about probably 2 credit cards, something like that, right? 2 or 3 credit cards.
I'll pick something without any sensitive information on my Tesco's club card. So there you go. So you know, it's about 2.5 credit cards. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's ridiculous,
nuts, isn't it?
Absolutely bonkers. 55 quid delivered free. And you have multiple colour choices, although black is the most common one. I was fortunate enough to find one that was in orange.
So if you program some of your own sound on this, or you make some changes to the sounds, you can save them to this. You can then also export them.
Yep.
Oh, look.
Now, talking about sounds, that brings me nicely onto this little tool. Now, again, got to thank our friend Tom at Synth Anatomy for bringing this one to our attention. Just there it is. So let me share.
Probes.
This.
Whilst you do that, Probes says, imagine if they did a £300 synth. Yeah.
Yeah, quite.
Yeah.
So, this is the MVAVE FM1 patch library. Now, this is not anything to do with MVAVE. So this is not a corporate thing. This has been designed by someone whose name I don't have, but I will put the link into the chat in case anybody wants it. But this is, I mean, this just made everything an absolute breeze. So there we go. That's in the chat. So yeah, you've got 4 banks that you can select through. You then you can either download your own, find your own, and upload them here, or you can find them on the internet. And then once you've filled your banks up with either individual patches or banks of patches, you can then just click the button and send it, and within a couple of seconds it's all dumped into your system. And the FM one will ask you which bank, do you want to save those 32 sounds in A, B, C or D. So you just tell it where you want to put it, and Bob's your uncle. It's done. And that's free. That's just a little browser-based librarian. Apparently it was vibe coded, so it wasn't very difficult to do. So yeah,
that's mad. There are some questions. Crackerjack was asking whether or not you can polychain them.
That I don't know. I've not seen that anywhere. But it was certainly something I was thinking. Oh yeah, that would be interesting if that was the case.
Just having a look. There was someone who was it just said. Someone just said this is going to be in everyone's Christmas stocking.
Do you know what? It absolutely is one of the perfect. It's up there with all of those little things that we say when we do the Christmas show. This is perfect little. It's it's cheaper than it's cheaper than anything I know that's this capable.
Well, someone else said isn't there a USB stick with an FM synth on it? And the answer is yes, there is. The thing is, this is a complete unit. So this is so small and 12-hour battery, all these things on it, as something which you can take with you or just diddle around with at 55 quid. I mean, kind of, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't you?
It's bonkers.
Did we, when we were talking earlier, you haven't looked at this yet, I know, but I've got to ask because it's in the interest of our lovely members. You say that there's 3 different MIDI ports and you thought that it might be possible to go 3-voice or 3.
Yeah, that was one thing I hadn't.
Multi-timbral.
So according to the manual, and I can confirm because I tested it, that this has TRS MIDI, although it doesn't say it's A or B, but it's probably A because that's kind of the most common one. It has USB MIDI, and of course it has Bluetooth MIDI, which is just bonkers. And it says in the manual that all 3 MIDI connections are switched on as standard. So I was thinking, and I will try this and report back, I was thinking, well, if I connect the USB and a TRS MIDI to something else, can I get 3 voices if I assign them to different channels? I don't know. I need to. And I don't know about polychain. There was no mention of polychaining, but I guess
well, even if you just get 2, if you're able to go 2-voice, multi, whatever, that would give you essentially the DX1 or DX5.
It would give you the layers,
the layers, which would be kind of interesting because that was always one of the big things with the £55, Robbie.
But if it doesn't do that, it's 55 quid and it does everything.
Go and buy
else.
Another one. Have 2 of them running at the same time.
I know it's mental. Does it sound exactly like a DX7 or any of those that range? It's about 90 to 95% as good sounding as those. It hasn't quite got. It's not as polished as the 1 and the 5. It's not as gritty as the 7.
The 7, yeah.
Because obviously,
but it's full 6 operators.
But the engine construction is the same, and so it's good.
Yeah, I'm blown away by this.
Yeah, so I'm
blown away.
My little holiday kit is going to be the MPC sample and this. And then either a little keylab controller or a keystep controller, or I might just take the 37 Astrolab, and because I can power.
Where are you going to?
I can power either of those off of the Astrolab if I want, or charge them off the Astrolab, which is just.
And where are you going to take one of the 2 mixers, either the Teenage Engineering one or the Korg?
If I take the Astrolab, I'll take the Korg. If I don't take the Astrolab and just take a control, I'll probably just take the Teenage Engineering one because I only need 2 inputs. But yeah, in fact, I can see myself just sat by the the pool or having a picnic by a lake somewhere with just this.
That thought of you sitting by the pool is not, would you be wearing...
I always wear clothes. I don't. Yeah.
You always wear clothes? Good.
Always wear clothes. Yeah. I'm not a pool person. I will only sit there because Jackie will be there and she'll want some company. So, does the DXEd, or however you want to pronounce it, editor work with this? I don't know. I wonder if we can... I'd have to connect the USB. Have I got USB cable?
Whilst you're doing that, whenever something comes out like this, anything, whatever its price, we always go through this list of, does it do blah blah. I've not asked about poly after touch because it's just ridiculous to ask.
It doesn't. No.
But we ask all these questions. Does it do this? Does it do that? Da, 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 da. And we usually find a bunch of things it doesn't do, and sort of half of us will go, well, it's still a good, and half of us, usually me, will go, well, I'm not sure about that. This is so far every question we've asked, pretty much. I mean, it sounds like we're doing an advert for it. Trust me, we're not. We're really not. But it's, that's a good thing, isn't it? 55 quid.
Right. So, let's fire up DXEd. And let's go to the MIDI settings. Okay, and then the Palm. So DX7 out is going to be, where is it? There. And we can shut that off. No, I don't think it does. Oh, hang on.
Does it need bidirectional to do that?
Hang on. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I think it is. It's doing something. I don't know if it's doing everything, but it's doing something. I can hear... No,
if you turn down the volume of this one...
No, I'm trying to control this from the DXEd editor. Right. There's definitely a change there when I go from fixed to ratio. So something's, I think you probably need to tinker a little bit.
Maybe make some adjustments to the settings for this so that it receives it properly or whatever.
But I think it could very well be possible. And I'm sure if somebody's already vibe coded this patch librarian,
then they're going to vibe code the editor, aren't they?
Somebody will be able to do that. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's
what a brilliant
I don't know
device.
what's running inside. So I would imagine it's a little system on a chip like a Arduino or a Teensy or a Pi derivative or something like that.
PDP-11 mainframe,
whatever,
with Winchester drives,
something like that. Yeah.
I
have, I did consider, because it's just 6 little screws on the bottom, just easing it apart, and I'm thinking, well, if I break it, I know it's 50 quid, but it's just 50 quid.
So in the spirit of inquiry, you might do that sometime.
I might, or I might buy another one just as a test model. I'm generally not brave enough to do those things during the warranty period. Not that I don't know whether they'd, or maybe I'll just drop them an email and they'll come back and say it's this or it's that. But listen, I mean, it's just this is a £55 fully featured FM synthesizer that is 4 voices short of a DX7, but it also has filters, it has built-in effects, and it has USB audio and MIDI, Bluetooth MIDI, and it has a rechargeable battery that will last around 12 hours and a built-in speaker, and it's £55.
£55 velocity sensitive aftertouch. I mean, yeah. You know, some people have released recently various different keyboards that don't respond to one or the other, usually aftertouch. They're doing it on a 55 quid keyboard. Come on, yeah. People.
I mean, I don't know much about MVave, who they are and what they do and what their mission is and stuff, but they have a decent website. My only quibble is that you can only buy it from AliExpress or Temu, and I have to again admit that this was my very first purchase off of any of those kinds of websites. I've never bought off AliExpress or Temu or anything like that, so I was a little bit trepidatious, but I thought in for a penny, in for a pound, and it was absolutely fine. I mean, the whole AliExpress experience was great, and my product turned up as before it was scheduled to, because obviously they give themselves a little bit of leeway. And it arrived. There was no customs on it because it's just £55.
It's under 130 quid or whatever.
Exactly.
It is.
So there's it's brilliant. They do some great stuff. So
Nick Howes is saying the MVave reverb pedal is also rather tasty.
Yeah, they do all sorts
of.
I
might have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, based off of this, I would have no qualms about buying something else MVave related. I can get them at Juno. Yeah, I did see a UK seller, but they were selling it for nearly 100 quid. So I don't know why that is. I don't know what Juno is selling them for.
I think it's called profit margin.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Juno, because Juno are generally very good. Why are you performing a security validation for Juno? Jesus. Thank you very much. Right, MVave.
Apparently, Ken says on Amazon it's $80.
Okay.
Amazon it's 92 quid.
According to Juno, they will be getting them soon. They don't say when, and they'll be selling them for $49.90.
Fucking hell. Sudo R3 boot or R3
sudo reboot.
Reboot. There we go. He's used Ali over 200 times and only one error, for which he got a full refund. I've never used them because you kind of hear these horror stories, don't you, Temu and AliExpress? So great. Look at that.
Coming soon. Pay when released, $49.99. So put your order in. I don't know if they're going to be doing any of the other colours, but if you can't wait, AliExpress. If you're happy to wait. Because I'm hoping that if enough of us make a song and dance about this, these will start to get very popular, and maybe they'll do more. They'll do more within the range. Maybe can you imagine they do a little virtual analog one of these?
Little VA thing, yeah. That would be good.
Yeah, bonkers, absolutely bonkers.
How cool's that? What else is there then?
I know. So there you go. That is, ladies and germs. That is the MVave FM1, a 12-voice polyphonic FM synthesizer with a DX7 voice structure, effects built in, filter built in, arpeggiator and sequencer built in, Bluetooth MIDI, USB audio and MIDI, rechargeable battery that lasts 12 hours, a built-in speaker. What else can I say? 55
keyboard.
Quid. It's probably the best 55 quid I've ever spent. It's mental in a great way. Absolutely bonkers.
That is
there
good.
You go. Is there a hot pink version? Let me tell you.
I think there actually is. Let me just have a look. There's a purple one. So there's a purple one which isn't hot pink. There's a green and black one.
So you've got black, purple, orange. I'll throw this up on the screen here. Here we go. So so you got black. You've got purple, which is quite nice actually. You've got the orange one. You've got the mint green or the black green, which I guess that's the one. If you're I should have gone for that one, I suppose, for a DX7 aficionado. And then there's the cool grey, Cool Whip, And then there's the white blue, which is actually rather nice as well. The black one, if you go onto these sites, the black one's the most popular one.
How many are they having to turn out to be able to make this number of different variants, and how many are they selling? I mean, I don't understand how they can do it for so little, but it's.
I'm glad they do.
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
And it's fully supported, so you've got the upgrade software. So the last update was on the 6th of July, so only just 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that added a whole bunch of other extra functionality. So who knows? There might be other features added to it as well. And it's dinky. And in fact, I thought maybe I should be sensible and get a case for it. And so I thought, well, what? I looked for a dedicated case, and there isn't anything. I thought, maybe the Rolands, the little Roland Era P6 or the S1, those little pocket things that the Roland do. This is smaller than one of them.
Why don't you just stick it in your pocket?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of in there,
pocket
like
size,
you would do with get a phone case almost. It's that kind of size, isn't it?
Yeah. Amazing what these technology people could do nowadays. So there you go. If you want more information, I think Steve has already posted the link to the MVAVE site. I'm sure he'll post it again.
I've got one question, which is, if you were to buy two, would you be able to send both of them simultaneously on the same MIDI channel using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth MIDI?
I don't follow. Sorry.
So if I connect it to something, you can trigger it using Bluetooth MIDI, right?
Yeah.
So if I had two of these boxes, can I set them both to respond to the same Bluetooth MIDI incoming, as it were, so that I could do a slight offset and maybe even do the whole DXD file? Yeah, that kind of thing.
So you can set up with WIDI, and I'm talking about WIDI here as a protocol rather than just general Bluetooth MIDI. You can control up to 4 other WIDI devices from one WIDI device. So I'm not entirely sure if you can address them with their internal Bluetooth MIDI, because I'm assuming that's just... they might have the WIDI chip inside. Who knows? Actually, I can't test it because my phone is the camera for this. But in theory, you could. You could if you got two WIDI devices and connected them one each, and then addressed them from a third WIDI controller. Then yes, you could absolutely do that. But I don't know if you can do it with the built-in Bluetooth MIDI, because it doesn't specify it as WIDI.
That would suggest you can get DX5 levels of performance that kind of thing for around £100.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
It is. It's bonkers.
It's very tempting as well. Yeah.
There you go, kids. So, cool. MVAVE FM1 is available now. Depending on where you buy it from, it can be anything between £50 and £100. But yeah, what a cool thing for not a lot of money. Pretty remarkable stuff. Right. Shall we have? We've gone a whole hour just. Well, not just talking about that, but at least half an hour.
Testiculating.
Yes, so let's have some viewer music. Shall we? We'll save Babs till later, because everybody saves Babs till later. So I'm told.
Yeah.
So we'll play AD Vision's track now. AD Vision, he often frequents our chat rooms, and he did a Synthspirations for us, which was very, very good. And he sent this piece of music, and I'm just going to read out his little kind of preamble, if I can find. I had it and it's gone. So let me just let's just Phil, he says, where are we? Where did you go? I've lost him. Anyway, this is a bit of an experimental piece of music, which uses some sort of fairly well-known kind of samples, but I don't think anything that will get anybody into trouble. And I would say that when I listened to it, it was, shall we say, and I mean this with full respect, it was a slightly challenging listen, but I get what he's doing, and so I'm hoping you all do too. This is AD Vision's track, and it's called find the thing, but where is it? Where did you go? It's called Bong Apache. Have a listen to this. There we go. AD Vision. It's called Bong Apache. He says in his email to me, here's another track if you fancy playing it. A bit different from my usual stuff, mostly sample-based and played in a DJ style between the Black Box and the Polyane tracker with some extra synths from me. All done in one go, no editing and no mixing. It's available on his Bandcamp page, which I will post in the chat right now. Let me just take that away there and bung that in there. Thank you very much, AD Vision, everyone. If you want to send in your tracks to be played, it's very simple. Send me preferably the audio set to some sort of visual video of some description. Just if it's just stock footage, or if you can't do that, then I'll do what I did with AIDS there. I just took his cover photo from Bandcamp and just put a little visualizer on top of it. That's just something so there's something on screen. But don't just send me the audio file. We'll play it. Send it to rob@prosynthnetwork.com. That's all you got to do.
Send more.
Send more. Please do. Yeah, we've got another one coming up. We've got the brilliant Babs, who sent a brilliant track in. So we'll be playing that shortly as well. But before we do, let's cover a few other things. Let's stay small. This is from. So again, we've mentioned Tom from the wonderful Synth Anatomy on the show already a number of times. I think without Tom's work this week, we probably wouldn't have a huge amount to talk about. Obviously, we've got to give credit to Tom for kind of convincing me to buy that FM1. But Tom was very observant, and he is a very keenly observant guy. He's also a very lovely bloke. If you ever meet him, if you go to Superbooth, he's always rushing around there, but he'll always have time for you. He's a very keenly astute guy, and he updated the Behringer Synth Tribe software. And if you're familiar with the Behringer Synth Tribe software, when you start it up, it has a scrolling graphic, and it shows all of the instruments that are supported. And they're on screen for a few seconds, and they move over, and then when you connect one, it goes and it lands on it. So you can see their entire product range whiz by your eyes. And he did that, and he found this. And I can't remember, and this is the thing with Behringer stuff, I can't remember whether they'd already said they were going to do this. The Mini Pop 7 looks like it's coming around the corner.
That's looking very Rolandish, though, isn't it?
Well, they're using the same form factor as they've done for the RD6 and the RD78 and the TD3, of course, and so it's in that little form factor, which I think is actually quite a nice little form factor.
It is.
And so there you go. It's I think I've heard it's going to be around the £180 mark, because it's an analog drum machine.
And that's the sound set, or that's the sounds that JMJ, Mr. Jar,
of course, massively famous. For that
great sound set.
Yes, a Mini Pop 7. Let's see if we can take a closer look. Let's blow the image up. There it is. So you've got pitch and levels for the Quijada, the Guiro. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Tambourine as well, and then you've got the track and instrument switches, the mode switches, and of course the kind of the classic Roland programming interface, which will no doubt have a whole bunch of preset rhythms in there, those from the original hardware, and probably some others that are
some additional ones
that sound very Jean-Michel Jarre like. But I mean, this is. Now we've got a Korg Mini Pops, a genuine analog Korg Mini Pops clone, with individual voice outs at the top there as well, because they have done them. Sorry,
I was just going to ask, does this have swing as well? Because wasn't that part of the original? I can't remember.
I don't know if it had a swing function, but it had rhythms that had the whatever that was. It was me just going.
I think it was.
Yeah. We don't know what's on the back, but I imagine there'll be USB. There'll probably be some audio outs, maybe some CV connections and MIDI on the back. This is the only image that Tom was able to, I guess, grab from the moving thing on Synth Tribe. But yeah, I think we can expect this. It's got a distortion circuit. I don't think the original had one of those in, so that'll make for some interesting stuff.
That will make for some very interesting.
Yeah.
And this hasn't been announced anywhere.
Not officially, no, but it's now appeared in the Synth Tribe software, which you use to update and save stuff to and from. So
did anything else creep in there?
Funny you should say that, because yes, it did. Let me just bring this. There it is. This was also. This is the CS Mini, which had been promised, which was, I believe, a 3-voice pocket synthesizer based on, of course, the CS voice from the 80, or that line of synthesizers.
80, 60, 50, yeah.
I think this one had been mentioned before, but I can't remember the mini pops. I don't know, or whether there's just so many of them and they announce them or talk about them so many years in advance that we just forget. But as Tom says in the blurb on his site, that if it's showing up in Synth Tribe, then it's got to be just around the corner. So this is another addition to their pocket range of synthesizers. We just spoke about the AKS Mini a week or so ago.
And that's going to create a stir, the CS Mini, isn't it? Because being able to access that voice, or what their interpretation of that voice architecture is, at the kind of price ranges they're doing. So this will probably be, 120, 130, something like that, maybe even sub 100, I don't know. I don't know what they stick it out for.
Jim, whenever, if I accidentally send my screen to screensaver, or whatever it's called, it stops me sharing the screen. So I apologise that vanished off the screen. So let's just bring that back in there, and then we can have a look a little bit closer.
There we go.
So the image quality is not going to be great because he had to grab it from the application, so it's not going to be the best image quality. But I mean, you look at that and you instantly think, well, yeah, that's going to be CS related because of just the font and the colours of the. I'm assuming those are LEDs. I don't know, or whether they're just painted.
It's odd. I mean, I'm just looking at the first thing I notice is ADSR. So there's no initial point, because with the CSs they had that initial level and attack whatever. Initial, that's missing, which means it's not a CS voice, is it?
Well, I guess it's as close as you're going to get in a unit like this. Of course, we are waiting, of course, for their supposed CS80 replica.
Well, let's hope they get that closer to it if they're going to do that.
There's clearly a market for these.
Yeah, there
is. As we said with the AKS Mini, this isn't anything I would consider buying. But there are obviously people that do think these are useful bits of kit. And if this retails for the same price as all the other ones, then I'm sure there'll be plenty of very happy people out there with a mini CS voice in their pockets.
Well, if that is indeed what it is, Ken has questioned whether or not that will be the case in the chat, as you can see. Is it just the colours and the labels and the name, but without the actual voice itself? Who knows? We'll find out when it comes out.
Yeah, we'll wait for is it Bartok, the guy that does their videos with the
the guy with the hair and
the face,
the
synth face, looks like he's having a whale of a time. But yeah,
he's got all the teeth.
He can play, he can play fair dues. If you get somebody you can demonstrate your synthesizer that can play very well, then go for it. Let's wait and see, or let's wait and hear, as we should say with synthesizers. But yeah, thanks to Tom at Synth Anatomy for breaking that on his brilliant website. If you've never been there, synthanatomy.com. Tom is a one-man band. He does all of this himself. So massive props to Tom.
Well done, Tom.
He just does a great website.
It is a good, and you should check it out. It's a really good thing. I was just going to say with the CS80. I mean, I was just suggesting that doesn't have the proper envelope yet, doesn't have the initial, etc. But there are every synth that comes out has a CS80 patch of one sort or another, doesn't it? And it's supposed to sound like the CS80, like the Vangelis stuff, essentially. The thing is, if it does the sound like, is that going to be enough for most people? Because do they even know about the initial levels and, you know, some of the ways this works? We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see.
There is a demo of, you mentioned, you know, Blade Runner, and of course that's always going to be associated with that synth. There is a demo of the FM1 that somebody has done on YouTube where they do a very short, like 1.5 minute bit that is the Blade Runner main theme.
Oh, really?
Do you know what? It doesn't sound that bad at all. So yeah, go and check that out. So there you go. That's some new stuff coming from Behringer at some point soon. So the mini pops and of course the CS80 or the CS Mini, should I say, not CS80. Shall we talk about free stuff? Because I like a bit.
Yeah, free stuff is always good.
Free stuff is amazing, and this is absolutely amazing. This is from, a lot of you might recognize the name Manu Riga. Manu Riga occupies a lot of the chat rooms in a lot of the synth streams, and also on Facebook. He's a member of our Facebook group as well. He's only gone and built his own synthesizer, software synthesizer, and it's completely free of charge. Now, whilst I should have fired this up a little earlier. But this is it's a sickeningly powerful synthesizer for the price, which of course is zero. We're getting some real bargains today. Let me just fire this up. I'll tell you what I'll do. Whilst we are waiting for me to do my job properly, why don't we watch a little video of our very good friend Mark Barnes, who's done a whole bunch of presets for this. So have a listen. This is everything that you hear here is the Drift Ritual plug-in synthesizer. I think that sounds pretty bloody amazing. All of those sounds were from that synthesizer. So let me just do this. Put us back in there. And if I press this button, and then I press that button, and I then do this, we should be able to see the actual synthesizer on our screens. There it is. This is Drift Ritual. Let me just turn that off in case I start triggering that. This is Drift Ritual from Manu Riga. It's an organic drift synthesizer. Now, I didn't do my full research. I'm hoping, I don't know if Manu is in the chat. I was hoping he might be. But the reason I say this is because the synthesizer is powered by high quality polyblep oscillators, and I'm not entirely sure what a polyblep oscillator is, but it has two of them. It has audio rate cross mod, oscillator transpose, multimode filter with body control and analog style filter lag, polyphonic and mono modes with a unison mode as well. Lots of modulation, LFOs, envelopes, aftertouch, built-in arpeggiator, has a random patch generator, a Bloom harmonic delay, big reverbs. You can hear the variety of sounds that was being played there by Mark. You know, there was lots of big analog sounds, and there was that kind of fluty sound in there as well. It covers a lot of bases. And for the price, of course, which is nothing, but we would encourage you to name a price in there and send him a few quid. This is a bloody good free synthesizer.
So just so people know, a polyblep oscillator is polynomial band-limited step, a digital sound synthesis technique used to generate clean waveforms like sawtooths, etc., reducing all the stepping. So it's a digital oscillator. That's what that is. It's a particular sort of
Thank you for that.
Oscillator. Very low CPU usage as well, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you fire it up and it's just like, wow, where's this coming from? It's rather bloody good. It's just an incredibly powerful synthesis. Multi-pages, so not everything is crammed onto one page. So there's some nice things here for the bloom and space reverbs, and then there's a preset catalog here, which is very nice to use. There's a random generator as well, and you can specify how random, so you can go from I think presets to 24 right up to 100, and you can generate a random patch.
I like the way people are working with random generators now. They're really useful.
Really, really cool.
Did I also see in the Bloom and Space it has reverbs that create harmonic series that you can tune. Is that right?
Yeah. So you have free and harmonic, and then you have the Space Center and Erode, which I guess is some sort of like bit crushing device. But there's lots to play around with, and a huge amount of presets that Manu has produced, as well as our very own Mark Barnes. So there's a huge number of stuff in there, and of course plenty of space for your own stuff. There's another one called the Coils Drift Lab bank that comes with it that you can just install as well. So I mean, it's free.
Thing is, it is free, and I did manage to download it, but I've been rebuilding the studio, so I haven't spent a long time with this. It is a really nice sounding synth, and the thing is, although it's free, you can actually donate something. You can name a price if you want to. I encourage anyone that gets this to, if it's a quid, fiver, tenner, because these kinds of things keep our community going, and I love the fact that people are doing these things. And this is a good sounding synth.
When I heard it, because I think the first I heard of it was Mark doing a demo, I thought, I wonder how much this is. This sounds quite interesting.
Yeah.
And then I got the link to the page, and when you click on the download now button, you'll be offered a sample donation of €5, but you can donate whatever you want. And I think that you should. Of course, you don't have to, and there is a link there to take you to the downloads, but we thoroughly encourage you to support Manu, who's put on a huge amount of work there for something that a lot of companies would charge probably in the region of £100 for.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
If this came out from one of the big labels, I mean, Cherry Audio, let's say, for example, they charge $69 for this.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So, yeah. Very good stuff. Didn't know he had it in him, but there you go. So please
go. He's done it also for all the different platforms. So Mac, Window, well, for both the platforms, and lots of different versions, lots of downloadable stuff. This is someone that's spent a lot of time on this. Let's give him some love back.
Absolutely.
And it does sound good. I said about the low CPU usage. That matters because you can use multiple instances of this, and it just runs, without really stressing your system at all. It's a good thing.
There you go. So thank you, Manu, for that. The Drift Ritual software synthesizer. Go and grab it now. Have lots of fun with it. Let's just go back here. And shall we have another piece of viewer music? I think we should. So this is Babs. We all know Babs. Babs is one of the tribe and has been one of the tribe for many years. She's absolutely brilliant. She's stupidly gifted as a musician and probably many other things besides, but we know her as a musician, and she's brilliantly gifted in that regard. And she sent me an email just the other day, and she let me just tell you what she said. If I've got her email, please don't tell me I've deleted it.
Did she mention cake?
She didn't know.
Oh.
But here it is.
You'd have thought, wouldn't you?
She says, "Hi Robbie, I've been meaning to get to this ever since you started asking for viewer music submissions. I'd love to have my music played on the ProSynth Network. I've chosen Into the Night. because it's synthy and has probably my best video to watch. Essentially, it's synth pop meets film noir. Soak it all in. This is Babs, a lady aptitude to you and I.
Yay.
Into the night.
Wowza.
I honestly, it just makes me wonder why I bother, because I'll never be that good. That is our very own Lady Aptitude, Babs. Thank you so much for sending it, and I love playing your stuff. I've told you this numerous times before. I hate you because you're so good at that stuff. But also, what I haven't told Babs is that I will probably be pestering her as of Sunday afternoon, because I'm picking up a Yamaha V50 and I know that she's got one of those. So if I have any trouble sort of navigating around that, Babs, be on the lookout. I'll be in touch.
I've got to say, sorry, but you know I was in studios through the 80s into the 90s doing
uninvited,
yeah, uninvited. No one wanted me there, but I was there for some reason making the tea. and I work with all sorts of really, really, really good producers and productions. From the first note, from that first synth lick, everything had its place, everything had its space. The chords, the production, the structure, the arrangement. That's just brilliant. You're a very, very... I hate you as well. I hate, Robbie, I hate you.
Some of the stuff I've listened of hers, and I say this knowing, who Steely Dan are and how good they are. There's elements of Steely Dan in there, and I say that as a massive compliment.
Elements of Joe Jackson as well, Saint Etienne, all of those. I mean, all the good stuff. Really, really good.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well done, Babs. Thank you very much. And
well
please
done.
do
Thank
go and
you.
check out her Bandcamp page, which you saw at the back end of that. But it's Lady Aptitude. Fantastic. Love her.
Yeah.
Let's talk. What do we got? We've got about 22 minutes left. I've got a few little itty bits, but I want to talk about this next. Because I think this is something. I mean, I've been playing around with this for a little while now. This is Noisy 2.6. So Noisy 2's been out for a while, but this is 2.6, and this is from Expressive E, of course, the people that brought us the wonderful Osmos synthesizer and controller, and a number of other things as well, like the Touché. And this is this is an MPE plug-in, but also don't be put off by that if you're not into your MPE or you don't have an MPE controller. It works perfectly well without it, but it's a brilliant instrument. And I've only recently just got into this because when I got the CE, you get the Control E platform and you get a whole bunch of noisy presets in there, and I thought, I like that, so I got the plug-in, and then of course I got a free upgrade to 2.6. So it is an incredible instrument, but what's got better or bigger, as they say? So we've now got this new analog engine. This bloody thing! Stop! Just
Every week.
Maybe if I just click, there we go. So there's a new analog unison resonator in there. It's all about resonance with this instrument. So we've got analog. There's a new FM oscillator and FM feedback. There is a harmonic wave map and a harmonic generator, evolving harmonics, and then you've also already got the acoustic stuff. So it does all of the the kind of acousticy MPE stuff that we've probably grown to know, love, or hate, depending on your point of view. But yeah, you've got loads of controls, and it's just it's a beautifully simple interface. He says, trying to look for a picture of the interface. Oh, this isn't going very well, is it? Yeah, I mean, because it's just this kind of block-oriented interface with very simple controls and these expression controls that you can dial in different levels of expression. It really is a very expressive instrument. I do have a little video clip that I can play you so you can hear what this sounds like. This goes on for about 4.5 minutes, but I'll play a little bit of it. So it goes on for but you can hear the wide range of sounds. I mean, it starts off when it's just that kind of typical MPE, physical modelling type thing. It's not, and then you dig into this, and there is all sorts of stuff going on here. You can use this for anything.
The second patch particularly was really, the second thing we saw was really, really, just so responsive, stringy, paddy.
And so if you've got an MPE controller, whether it's an Osmos, whether it's a Touche, whether you've got the
Osmos,
Ableton Push 3, or a Leviasynth or Polybrute 12, anything that's got that kind of MPE control, you will get a lot more out of this. But you don't have to have that, so it's not exclusively an MPE kind of instrument. It's normally €149, but it's €89.40 as an introductory offer. But if you already have Noisy 2, it's a free upgrade. And it's a really, really amazing I'm really getting into it now, obviously, with the Osmos controllers. I'm able to experiment a bit more and kind of see what all the fuss is about. Don't really fully understand how it all works, but I like what I can do with it, so that's nice.
So
massive library there
as you know, I've only just gotten into MPE in the last month or so for the first time, and this was one of the things I heard. I've not had a chance to play with it fully, but this was one of the things I heard initially, and I'm certainly going to be getting this because it just feels like what I wanted from MPE, which is that keyboard experience plus is that additional articulation. This does it so well. Yeah. It's got such a lovely sound. And the one thing I'm really surprised by with this is, again, how efficient it is on CPU. So it's not, it's not really. I think I've run up like 2 or 3 instances without any glitching at all. So
they've done a really good job of that Control E software for sure.
Yeah.
There we go. Expressive Ease Noisy 2.6 available now. Free upgrade for existing two users, or $89.40 introductory price for others. Talking of physical modelling, I just want to give this a mention because when I saw this, and this was on the Perfect Circuit website, who are, of course, a big American retailer, I thought, this is going to be a real little fluff piece. And I was quite upset. I was not upset. I was quite wary that this would just be a little bit of kind of revisionist history about something I really, really do have a bit of a thing for.
Just the tiniest thing for.
Luckily, it was anything but that, because when I scrolled down that first bit of the page and I saw who it was written by. It was written by the legend that is Robin Vincent. Then I knew all was going to be well, because Robin knows his stuff. So he's written this article for Perfect Circuit, and it's about. It says it's the history of Yamaha's physical modelling. And the first thing I noticed was, hang on a minute, that's a cool prophecy. But this is more about the beginnings of hardware physical modelling synthesizers, which of course Yamaha were at the forefront of. And he sets everything up really nicely, kind of sets the scene, what we were doing in the early 90s, where we'd come from, what was coming out, and what was going on in terms of the research into physical modelling with Carplus Strong and all of that stuff. And then he goes into, the key instruments. And I'm scrolling down thinking, you better mention the VP1, you better mention the VP1. And he talks about the VL1, and he got all the information about the differences, the way it did physical modelling with its self-oscillating, this kind of constant energy going through a resonator type modelling. Then he goes to the VL7, and then he does do the VP1, which is the instrument that I desperately want, but will almost certainly never have. But it used this free oscillating version of physical modelling, which was more based around plucks and strings and that kind of thing, rather than constant energy like breath through a reed or through a trumpet. Was it embouchure?
Embouchure,
yeah. And then of course the VL70M, which was this wonderful little compact version. And then he talks about contemporary competitors, and of course he mentions the Korg Prophecy, which I got very excited about. The brilliant Technics WSA1, which I regret overlooking, back in the day when I was knocking them out. And of course, the other great polyphonic physical modeler, the Z1. But he also looks at early software versions of physical modelling and looks at the current state. It's a brilliant read, and I take my hats off to Robin. He's done an excellent job. So go over to Perfect Circuit and go over to their content there and have a good read of that. It's a very entertaining, educational, and most importantly, accurate piece of history about a form of synthesis that is making I think a little bit of a comeback.
It's having a bit of a resurgence. I was going to ask you, has anyone done a plug-in of the VL1 or the VP1?
No. And I think Yamaha could easily do a VL VP plug-in.
Well, I was wondering whether or not they might do something that could run on the MK M8X.
But that said, the Hacken audio engine in the Osmos does a very, very good job of being a polyphonic physical modelling engine, and there are other software things out there. I don't know how unique the VL and the VP engines would be compared to today's physical model, because they have gone a bit beyond. Yes, Nick, there is a main version of the VL1, but when it comes to mainstream kind of instrument plugins, Yamaha have been silent.
Zebra 3, Twibble.
Oh, geez, yeah, Zebra 3. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are so many software instruments and a few hardware ones, that can go way beyond what the VLs and the VPs do. But we had the VP one on the show, didn't we? As a guest with Manny and Scott. And Scott's demonstration video gets loads of views. It's still a very popular demo. And just listening to that was incredible. I really want one. I really want.
Not only is he not on tonight, but he hasn't sent us down a VP1. I mean, what?
I know.
Not really, mate. Manny.
Crazy. So there's that. Perfect Circuit. Go and have a read of that. There was also this news, which was a little bit of a shame. Do you remember Chompy Club? The little yeah. So Chompy did some sort of partnerships with Chase Bliss shortly after they kind of successfully launched their product, and that's the Chompy Club there. And we kind of wrote it off a little bit as this toy, but when we saw it being used, it actually was a very cool little sampling device.
It started making sense, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So Chase Bliss liked it so much they bought the company. Yeah, and this was a while back, and they said at the time that Chompy was going to carry on, and they were going to develop it, and they were going to enhance it, and go on so on and so forth. Unfortunately, that's not happening anymore, because, and I'm not going to talk you through the video. You can go and watch the video. They're very humble and apologetic, but it seems that what they want to do far exceeds the capabilities of the hardware as it stands. The main developer of the firmware no longer works there and is no longer accessible. I don't know what that means, but they use that term. They had no longer had access to him, and so they kind of had to reverse engineer it and try and figure everything out. And they've just basically said that they are not going to be able to proceed as planned, and so Chompy Club has been consigned to the dustbin of history, and they will sell the remaining stocks. I think when they did the video, they said they had about 250 of them left in stock, and they will continue support for existing users and users who buy them. But they just won't be developing it any further, which is a real shame.
I'm just looking at the article on Gear News, curiously, and apparently they've made a commitment to open source the Chompy code and make it available for people.
Yeah, so I got sent this kind of message that they were discontinuing, and so I went to watch the video, scroll down the comments, and somebody said in the comments, this is perfect for open sourcing. Why don't you open source it? And the guy on the left there answered and said, do you know what? That's a really good idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the current coder to go into the code and put a whole bunch of notes in there to say, what's doing what, so that anybody can get this and look at it and see which bits of code are doing which actions or so on. I don't know, whatever coders do. And they will make it open source. They have committed to making it open source, which I think is a brilliant idea.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah. So
it can continue.
Yeah. So good luck to them, and I applaud their honesty and their transparency. They could have just said it's dead. We don't do, but they, if you watch the video, you get this real sense of disappointment that they couldn't fulfill what they wanted to fulfill, and they're holding their hands up and doing the right thing. So well done.
And talking of things that couldn't be, or thought theoretically couldn't be fulfilled, but now are, isn't there someone doing something rather lovely with a plugin that you wanted to talk about?
Indeed, our good old friend Bradders,
Yay!
Brad Holland, over at Isla Electronics. I always have to kind of stop myself because I always go to say Isla Instruments, but it's no longer Isla Instruments, it's Isla Electronics.
Yeah.
Cast your eyes on that. That is, of course, in the foreground, a Alesis Andromeda A6, probably the greatest synthesizer that Alesis ever made. Sitting above it on a computer screen is a plug-in version of it that has been developed by Brad. It is running, I'm told, the original A6 firmware, and he has modelled the ASIC chips, and he sent me this photo at the beginning of the week before he made it public, and he just sent me not this one, but a picture of the screen, and I'm like, no way. Actually, there was some expletives between the word no and way. No. So I said, don't you dare leave me hanging with that picture, Holland. Tell me what the hell you're doing. And about 3 minutes later, he sends me a video that he's filmed of him playing around, and he plays it, and it sounds amazing. So this is going to be initially it's going to be a plug-in that will work in the Caladan box that is due later this year. So this is this hardware box that you can put different cards in with different capabilities, and he will have an Andromeda A6 card in the Caladan. But he has pretty much committed to, I wouldn't say 100% committed to, wrapping it up into a VST stroke possibly audio units plug-in. So we'll be able to have an Andromeda A6 plug-in, which would be rather cool. And I know a lot of people that would probably like that. Because
I think a lot of people will like that, but he also mentioned, because we were talking curiously earlier this week, he was also mentioning that there might be some good news potentially for owners of A6s.
Yes.
I'm not sure how much more I can say, but there might be some very good news on that.
Absolutely. I mean, the A6...
Dave Bessel, for instance.
Exactly, yeah. So the A6 is, of course, this amazing kind of analog... It was a complete analog signal path, but it uses a lot of digital stuff in there as well with the ASIC chips, doing the oscillators and the filters. But it's renowned for breaking down. And if it breaks down because of the custom nature of the hardware, it's almost impossible to repair because the spares are no longer available, unless, of course, you've got a donor machine, which, of course, is not always the case. So if you were looking to have an A6 in hardware form, then you could potentially get a Caladan and have it inside that, or if you just want a plug-in, have a plug-in. But hats off to you, Brad. I know he watches the show. Super excited about this,
really excited.
and hearing it and getting hands-on with a little bit of this. By the way, that A6 that you see in the picture is Brad's A6, but it used to belong to one Matt Johnson of Jamiroquai. And he signed it on the back as well. So if you look around for the back, there's Matt Johnson's signature. So that will very good.
That's really good.
It is really, very good. Good stuff. Let's see, what else have we got? We've done the Chompy Club. We've done the Perfect Circuit thing. We've done all of that. Final thing that I just want to mention, if you have some time over the weekend, which I'm sure you will, this is only a 12-minute video, but if you go to Anthony Marinelli, of course, Anthony's a big friend of the show, love him and what he does. This video is him going on set to the Michael biopic that they made recently, and this is in Westlake Studios, which is where Thriller was recorded. And they basically took over the studio, shut it down, and then fitted it out a la 1982, which I think was when the year it was recorded. Because it came, Thriller was 83, wasn't it? So yeah, must be around 82.
Something.
And he brings in this one-off synclavier system that is essentially a dummy unit. And the guy that you see there fiddling around at the back of the Orc keyboard is setting up the synclavier regen, which is actually generating all of the sounds. So they've got an original synclavier, but it's inside the Orc keyboard. But they brought it in because the film shows the recording of Beat It, and they wanted to show somebody pressing a key on the synclavier and getting the iconic gong sound at the beginning of that track. But that video is predominantly talking to Anthony about his memories of working in that very studio with Michael, with Quincy, with Bruce, with Rod Temperton, and all the other people that made that, Steve Baccaro and Steve Lukather, and all of those people that were playing on that record. And you can kind of, there's a bit in there where I thought he's going to crack here. He's getting a little bit emotional, because it must be, if you walk into a place after 40 odd years where you spent some really fucking special time
and
working on,
been so intimately involved
on the biggest album that probably ever was and could obviously ever be, and there's just that moment where Anthony, who I really love him as a human being, as an individual, and there's just a moment where you think, oh god, he's getting a bit emotional for him. But it's so authentic and so natural and so wonderful to see him kind of put back into that place. And he said to me earlier that this is what a time machine must feel like, because he just walked in there and it was instantly transported back. They even put Rod Temperton's ashtray, because they had a little corner for him. They used to stick him in there. So they've recreated the studio perfectly. It's a great video to watch. So I thoroughly recommend going to Anthony's channel if you don't already. I'm sure most of you do. And going and watching that and all of his other amazing videos. So there we go. I thought I'd give that a mention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Kissing the Machine, who I guess is either at home or on a train home, because he normally is on a Friday night, watching us on the London to Norwich train. So there you go. That's a show.
Okay?
Look at that. We've
that is a show. There's one thing we missed, which we'll cover next week, no doubt, which is...
What was that?
The jar.
The jar. Yes, the Synth Tesla jar synth. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. That can wait. I mean, that's an interesting thing, and that was another thing. I mean, I think we've given Tom enough exposure today, don't you think?
We have.
Yeah. No,
we've exposed Tom.
This is just a custom synth made by the people that made the Hans Zimmer custom synth, and this is the Jar Lab 1, which uses, I believe, a Korg log oscillator. So those log oscillators, but then there's a lot of custom stuff going on there. But this was done for Jean-Michel Jarre. It's an amazing thing. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that next week in a little bit more detail. But that is 2 hours of a show. We've had absolutely no sign of Scott, no sign of Jason, and no sign of Kent. So I hope they're all well. I hope they haven't been consumed or whatever. We managed to get through it, which is good.
We managed. It was mostly you.
It was mostly
I've got
that.
These lovely lights.
It was mostly that as well.
It was.
You do get a physical manual.
The manual's bigger than the synth.
Yeah, the manual's almost bigger than the synth.
Almost.
Yeah, look at that. But yeah, get one. If you've got £55 burning a hole in your pocket, go and get.
Just nuts.
Yeah, go and get one of those. It's a cracking little thing.
Hey, can you imagine back when we first, back in the 80s when we were both sort of aching for different synths and things, and the cheapest thing we could get would be so far out of 55 quid, and you get this. I mean,
essentially a DX7 minus 4 voices, but plus a filter and effects.
And
I'd happily trade 4 voices. Yeah, and no, where's Keith in Watford when we've got the most orange of orange synthesizers?
The orange thing in the whole wide world. Come on, Keith.
Yeah, I don't know. If, as I said before, if you've got a Leviathan synth, and if you haven't, you should, because it's brilliant. The 1.2 update was released today with some really cool additional features and some bug fixes as well. And Mr. Ken Pierce has done a great little tutorial video on the sequencer with the entropy stuff, so that's very cool. Go and watch that.
Yeah, that's a really good. I played that down at Dawlish when we did the Southwest show early this year. I loved it. And I'm aching to get my hands on one. And I'll watch the video. Watch Ken's video. It's really good.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Such a
good stuff. All right, and we will be back same time, same place next week, where I will have aged 1 year. I will be 1 year older.
You'll be 1 year old?
Again. Well, yeah, in certain respects. As the older you get, those things start happening.
Bladder.
But yeah, so this weekend I will be mostly shopping for my holiday and then going to pick up this V50 on Sunday, which I really shouldn't do, but I couldn't resist.
You couldn't resist, of course you
and
couldn't.
you'll be doing more studio work, I guess, rebuilding.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get rid of this desk. Here's the thing, I'm still trying to find the right workstation for this space. It needs to be about 2.5 meters wide, and I want to be able to fit 3 monitors and a whole bunch of other stuff. And just finding the right one at a price that's not eye-wateringly expensive is tough, right?
Can I recommend, this sounds odd, Wavebone?
Easy?
The Wavebone Headquarter, which is what I've got. I've literally clicked on the first link, so I'm not promoting this retailer, but you can get them from other places. This is what I have. The Wavebone Headquarter wooden desk.
I was looking at, the only thing that puts me off is the bench underneath has that piece of metal going across, which would mean I couldn't put racks underneath the desk.
I do. Oh, not you. You won't put racks underneath the desk because you've got the keyboard tray.
It's just whether or not I can do that and move the. Yeah.
But if you're looking for sort of like a wide desk, you've got 9U of rack space at the top here, and then you've got the shelf for your monitors. I mean, I've got my big wide monitor and then my 2 eggs either side of it with room in between. Yeah,
9U of 9U of rack space. Do you know what? That might just do it.
Yeah.
Might just do it. Okay, I'll take it.
But yeah, I can thoroughly recommend it because I bought mine and it's solid. It's a big lump. It's a heavy lump, but it's well worth it.
So yeah, I'll be doing that this week and getting speaker stands, and I've got the Dyne Audio BM15As and BM6As. I think it'll probably be the 6As. The 15s are just too big for this room. So yeah, it's going to take a week or two.
Indeed.
Is next week your last week before you go on your Hollimer-bobs?
No, I wish it was.
Oh, go on.
But no, I'm going to be doing next one. My last one will be the 7th.
Right. In which case I may leave the full rewiring until because you're away for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Yes, there will be no show for 3 weeks.
Right, so that gives me time to rewire everything and do the whole thing. Great.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Cool stuff. Right then, that's a show. I hope Kent and Jason and Scott are all okay because we've not heard from them, but hopefully they'll be around next week, and if not, we'll be here, and we'll see you same time, same place. Have a great weekend. Don't get too hot. Wear sunscreen, and see you all soon.
Eat
Bye-bye.
cake. Bye.